everyone, welcome to the second part of the prose, The Ashes That Made Trees Bloom by William Elliot Griffiths. In this video, I will read and explain part 2 of the story line by line along with the difficult words and their meanings. Finally, we will analyze the major themes and the message of the story. If you haven't watched part 1, click on the link in the description box or in the top right corner of this video. So let's begin. In the first part, we read about an old couple in ancient Japan who owned a dog named Muko. Muko helped his master become rich, but he was killed by the selfish and wicked neighbors living in the same village. He still visits his master in his dreams and tells them the ways to become wealthy. This makes the greedy neighbors even more jealous. Now let's start reading part 2. Not long after that, the good old man dreamed again. And the spirit of the dog spoke to him, telling him how the wicked people had burned the mill made from the pine tree. Take the ashes of the mill, sprinkle them on the withered trees, and they will bloom again, said the dog spirit. So the old man dreamt again. He started dreaming again, and the dog spirit came in and told him that the wooden magic mill had been chopped and burnt by the cruel, wicked old couple because it did not give them any gold. So the dog spirit also asked him to bring the ashes. The ashes are the greyish white powder which was left behind after burning the mill from the neighbor's house. Take a look at the picture of the ashes here. The dog spirit asked him to sprinkle these ashes, to scatter these ashes on the withered means dry, flowerless trees to make them bloom again. Right? The old man awoke and went at once to his wicked neighbor's house, where he found the miserable old pair sitting at the edge of the square fireplace in the middle of the floor, smoking and spinning. From time to time, they warmed their hands and feet with the blaze from some bits of the mill, while behind them lay a pile of the broken pieces. So the old man woke up and at once means immediately, went to his neighbor's place. He found the miserable couple. Miserable means worthless or wretched. He found that couple near the fireplace where they had burnt the magic mill. They were smoking and they were warming their hands and feet in the fire. Blaze here means fire. The remaining parts of the chopped wooden mill were lying behind them. So the old man dreamt of the dog. The dog told him to take the ashes from their neighbors. So that's why he got up. He went to his neighbors to take the ashes that were left after burning the wooden mill. The good old man humbly asked for the ashes, though the covetous couple turned up their noses at him and scolded him as if he were a thief. They let him fill his basket with the ashes. So the good old man asked them for the ashes in a down-to-earth way. The greedy, the covetous old couple looked at him in a demeaning manner. They made faces as if he was a thief, but they let him take the ashes in his basket. So you see how the old man did not even scold, did not even argue with them. He did not even ask them why they burnt his mill. Even when they burnt his magic mill, he still went to them and talked to them humbly. And look at this greedy couple. They looked at the old man as if he was a thief. On coming home, the old man took his wife into the garden. It being winter, their favorite cherry tree was bare. He sprinkled a pinch of ashes on it, and lo, it sprouted blossoms until it became a cloud of pink blossoms which perfumed the air. The news of this filled the village, and everyone ran out to see the wonder. So the old man brought the ashes and went to his garden and did what his dog had asked him to do. It was a winter season and the trees were bare. Bare means naked, without any flowers. You can have a look at the picture here. See how the trees are absolutely empty. As soon as he sprinkled the ashes on these bare trees, magic happened. The trees sprouted beautiful pink-colored flowers. Blooms and blossoms means flowers. The trees were filled with pink flowers, and their fragrance, their perfume spread in the air. All the villagers heard of this magic and came to see the wonder with their own eyes. The covetous couple also heard the story, and gathering up the remaining ashes of the mill, kept them to make the withered trees bloom. So when the evil, greedy couple heard about this magic, they also gathered. Gather means to collect. They also collected the remaining ashes and stored them to make their withered or dried trees bloom. The kind old man, hearing that his lord, the Daimyo, was to pass along the high road near the village, set out to see him, taking his basket of ashes. As the train approached, he climbed up into an old withered cherry tree that stood by the wayside. So the kind man heard that his lord was going to pass from the road near the village. He quickly went to see him, and he also took his basket of ashes along with him. You can take a look at the picture. It shows the procession of the Daimyo. See how royal the whole team is. A lot of people are marching along with the Daimyo. It used to be an old custom in Japan when the landlords used to visit their lands sometimes. As the procession approached means came close, the old man climbed up a withered cherry tree on the side of the road. Now, in the days of the daimyos, it was the custom when their lord passed by for all the loyal people to shut up their high windows. They even pasted them fast with a slip of paper so as not to commit the impertinence of looking down on his lordship. All the people along the road would fall upon their hands and knees and remain prostrate until the procession passed by. So in the old days, because people used to respect their lord so much, it was a custom. Custom means a common practice to close their windows, and they even pasted papers on their windows. Impertinence means inappropriateness or insolence. So in other words, it means a wrong action. So the people thought that it was impertinent or it was wrong to look down upon their leader from high windows. It was a way to show their respect. So what they would do is they would rather come down on the road and they would remain prostrate. Prostrate means lying face down till the procession passed. You can look at the picture here. This man is prostrate on the ground. The train drew near. One tall, competent man marched ahead, crying out to the people, by the way, get down on your knees. Get down on your knees. And everybody kneeled down while the procession was passing. So as the train approached, train here means the procession of the daimyo. As the train or the procession approached, one man told everyone to get down on their knees, and everybody did the same. And they did this to show the respect to their lordship. But the old man was already up on the bare cherry tree. Suddenly, the leader of the van caught sight of the aged man up in the tree. He was about to call out to him in an angry tone, but seeing he was such an old fellow, he pretended not to notice him and passed him by. So when the daimyo's palanquin drew near, the old man, taking a pinch of ashes from his basket, scattered it over the tree. In a moment, it burst into bloom. So the old man was up in the cherry tree, and the man who was walking in front of the procession suddenly noticed him on the cherry tree. He got angry, but because he was so old, this man just ignored the good old man. A palanquin is a covered box carried by 4 people. You can take a look at the picture of a palanquin here. Look at the box in which the landlord is sitting. This is a palanquin. So when the daimyo's palanquin came near, the old man took a pinch of ashes from his basket and scattered it. Scattered means spread it over the cherry tree, and in just a moment, suddenly the tree burst into a beautiful blossom. It became beautiful and full of flowers, full of life. The delighted daimyo ordered the train to be stopped and got out to see the wonder. Calling the old man to him, he thanked him and ordered presents of silk robes, sponge cake, fans, and other rewards to be given to him. He even invited him to his castle. So the old man went gleefully home to share his joy with his dear old wife. So the daimyo also noticed this beautiful miracle, this magic that happened when the tree suddenly became laden with beautiful pink flowers. He came out of his palanquin and he praised the old man and thanked him and promised him great gifts like silk clothes and delicious foods among other rewards. The old man went back gleefully. Gleefully means happily, and shared his joy, his happiness with his old wife. So we saw that the old man got rewarded by the daimyo due to the dog spirit who told him to get the ashes. Now we will see how the greedy couple will try to copy the same thing once again and how they are going to fail. But when the greedy neighbor heard of it, he took some of the magic ashes and went out on the highway. There he waited until a daimyo's train came along, and instead of kneeling down like the crowd, he climbed a withered cherry tree. So the greedy neighbor heard about this incident, and he also went to be rewarded by the daimyo. He also did the same thing. He took the ashes, went to the highway, and climbed up a cherry tree. When the daimyo himself was almost directly under him, he threw a handful of ashes over the tree, which did not change a particle. The wind blew the fine dust in the noses and eyes of the daimyo and his wife. Such sneezing and choking, it spoiled all the pomp and dignity of the procession. The man whose business it was to cry, "Get down on your knees," seized the old fool by the collar and dragged him from the tree, and tumbled him and his ash basket into the ditch by the road. Then, beating him soundly, he left him for dead. So, the neighbor did the same thing. He threw a handful of ashes on the tree, but no magic happened. Instead, the ashes flew away and got into the eyes and noses of the daimyo and his wife. You can take a look at the picture here, how irritated they are. Everybody started to cough and sneeze and choke. The ashes irritated everyone. It spoiled all the pomp. Pomp means display of power and dignity. Dignity means respect. So the whole show was ruined. The man who was asking everybody to get down on their knees seized. Seized means caught the neighbor by the collar and dragged him. Dragged means pulled him violently from the tree and tumbled him. Tumbled means made him fall along with his ash basket into a ditch. Ditch means a hole along the side of the road. He beat the old man up and left him there. So we saw how the greedy old man once again tried to copy the good old man, but for his own selfish reasons. And this time he got beaten up. This time he got what he deserved for so long. Thus the wicked old man died in the mud. But the kind friend of the dog dwelt in peace and plenty, and both he and his wife lived to a green old age. So the man died in that ditch, in that hole along the road, but the good old couple dwelt. Dwelt means lived in peace and plenty. So the good old couple always remained happy. It means that they lived in harmony with enough resources. They both lived to an old age together, unlike the greedy old couple who died in the ditch. So that was it for the story. Let us now move on to the analysis. Let's discuss the major themes first. The first theme is honesty and selflessness. The virtues like honesty, selflessness, and kindness are desirable human qualities. The couple are an embodiment of these qualities. They're always satisfied with whatever they have, and they are never jealous of their neighbors. They're never greedy. These are the two qualities that bring all the happiness and wealth to this good old couple. The second theme is compassion and diligence. The people who are compassionate and kind to not only human beings but to animals and birds always remain happy. However, the ones who are greedy and selfish, who refuse to work hard to attain their success, are forever unhappy. So one should always be kind towards all living beings and treat everyone with respect. So now that we've discussed the major themes, let's discuss the message that the story gives. So the first message is you reap what you sow. So the good old couple display the virtues such as honesty, kindness, and selflessness, like I said, towards their pet and their neighbors too. These are the qualities due to which they are always rewarded by God. This is in contrast with the neighbors who are cruel and selfish, and their cruel and selfish behavior ends up killing them in the end. The greedy old couple who killed the innocent dog, they faced the same fate and they got killed in the same way. So you always get punished for your bad deeds and you get rewarded for your good actions. That is why we say that you always reap what you sow. You always get whatever you do to other people. Grass is always greener on the other side. So this means that one should focus on what they have instead of what others have. So the people who keep on worrying about the things that they do not have or the things that the other people have, they always remain unhappy because they are always looking at the other people, the other people's success, the other people's happiness. And in this process, they forget about their own lives. So one should always be satisfied with their own life, with whatever they have in their own life, because if you look at other people, you will never be satisfied and you will always be unhappy. So that was it. Thank you so much.